Hey guys, Dan with Pain For You. In this video, the topic is going to be, is this TMS? And so what I really want to cover in this video is the fact that I get asked probably half a dozen times a day, if not more so. I've got these symptoms. They're acting like this. Is this TMS? I've got those symptoms. Is that TMS? I've got this thing and it looks like this on the image. And it hurts. Is this TMS? And is that TMS? And you know, what I will tell you is that Dr. Schubner makes it very clear that the first step is to rule out any intractable, serious medical issue. Heart attacks, stroke, cancers, infections, fractures, right? These are things that absolutely should have medical attention. Beyond that, we've ruled out the life-threatening stuff and the things that absolutely need medical attention. After that, we begin to rule in TMS. Not because we see something on an imaging study. I mean, you know, the fact that there's osteoarthritis in the hip or the joints or the back or wherever, that doesn't mean you have something physical that's causing the pain. So how do we rule in TMS? Well, I talk about some assessments. I do have a pain test. You can find that at yourpaintest.com. Any score over 29 or 30 is generally mind-body, TMS, and can be eliminated. That's one step. There is a self-assessment at danbuglio.com. Enter your email and download the self-assessment. You know, it's about 8 or 10 pages, but it'll have you going over things like pain history, what was going on emotionally at the time. There is a process in there that will help you reframe your emotions, which is not necessarily part of an assessment, but is really critical to help you understand the fact that you're repressing and avoiding these emotions in the first place. You know, there are some questions that ask you about the pain characteristics. These are the ways that we rule in TMS, the pain history, what was going on. Seriously, I mean, if 4 major things were going on in your life when the pain started, and there's nothing significantly medically wrong that's life-threatening, ding, 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 you probably have a winner. So, is this TMS? You know, I can't answer that question for you, right? I really can't. When somebody says, is this TMS? Well, what I can tell you is, have other people with those similar symptoms gotten better? Sure, I can answer that question from that perspective, but I certainly can't rule out the life-threatening stuff for you. And most of us have already been to the doctors and know that, you know, there's nothing life-threatening. Things are checking out, or, you know, there's some physical things shown on the images. But as we realize, TMS does not necessarily mean that the physical things shown on the image is what's causing the pain. So, you know, I can't really say, do you have TMS? But I can point you to the direction of these assessments. Go to ppdassociation.org/symptoms. There's a whole list of symptoms there. Somewhere, at least 50 of them, right? And those things will give you an idea like, okay, yeah, even the PPD Association, run by the best medical doctors who focus on a mind-body psychophysiologic pain disorder, meaning TMS, say are mind-body, right? So that list of symptoms is great. And there's 30 questions on there that you can go through. The more of those questions you say yes to, the more likely it is you've got TMS. So I can't tell you if your symptoms are TMS. And I'm not saying don't email me or message me or ask the question on Facebook. Feel free to. But what I am most likely going to do is say, have you ruled out life-threatening, intractable conditions, medical conditions that absolutely should be handled by a doctor? And if you have you ruled in TMS? It's not the symptom that determines if it's TMS. It's not whether or not some stranger on Facebook has healed their piriformis syndrome with a TMS approach. It's not that, it's whether or not you and your characteristics line up with TMS. Your pain characteristics, your personality type, your pain history, and what was going on emotionally at the time. How do you handle emotions? Are you a repressor because you feel that emotions make you weak, damaged, broken, insane, crazy, out of control, whatever? What are your self-judgments? Those things are relative to you. So what some stranger did on the internet is not as important. Is it nice to hear that somebody with a similar symptom as yours got better? For sure, absolutely. But that should not be your sole determining factor as to, yes, I have TMS, or no, I don't. So if you're still asking yourself, is what I am going through, this mind-body pain disorder, rule out the life-threatening stuff, you know? And some of the other TMS groups say, rule out the physical. Have you ruled out the physical? Look, doctors are going to find something physical in a lot of the times, a lot of the cases, because they have images. They can look at things and go, oh yeah, look at that. There's some arthritis on that joint. That's something physical, and now you've fallen into the trap of saying, damn, I don't have TMS because I have something physical. Oh no. Look, it's much more important to rule out the really serious stuff and then rule in TMS. When you combine ruling out the major life-threatening stuff and ruling in TMS because your pain characteristics meet a lot of what is common for TMS, or your pain history, or your emotional approach to, you know, how you feel emotions or how you reject them. These things all matter. What's your pain history? That stuff matters more than, you know, I hear some medical terms that I don't even know what they are. And look, I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't claim to know all of them. But people will say, I've got this, this, and that, and they're throwing these medical terms at me that I've never heard before. And I got to Google them. I look them up and I go, yeah, it sounds like, you know, whatever, knee pain. But it was some bizarre term that I hadn't even heard of before. And I've been looking at this stuff for a long time. So there's so many different medical terms and diagnoses out there that, you know, sounds really authoritative and scary. But if you can rule in TMS, or this mind-body process, through these assessments, that's way more important than finding somebody who's had your exact symptoms and gotten better. Because there's almost no end to the type of symptoms that can come up from TMS. So, instead of searching endlessly for somebody with your exact symptoms, rule out the life-threatening. Once you've done that, rule in the TMS diagnosis through these assessments. And look, if you're on the fence and there's something significant showing up structurally, then I will encourage you to reach out to Dr. Schubner, Dr. David Clark. Just look them up, unlearnyourpain.com. I think Dr. David Clark is stressillness.com. Dr. Schechter, I forget what his website is, but you can find these guys. Just Google them. You'll find them. Reach out to them. Send them your images. If you really are unable to have some of these self-assessments be definitive enough for you to start moving forward. But yeah, the question of, do I have TMS? My answer is going to be, have you ruled out the life-threatening, and have you ruled in TMS by going through the assessments? That's the answer. What I think and say is still going to be based on the assessments, right? Yes, some people have gotten rid of all sorts of things, and that's certainly a great starting point. But if you haven't done the assessments, why have you not done the assessments? The self-assessments are free. They're all out there. Just go grab them, take a look at them, and see how you line up with this mind-body pain disorder. So, do you have TMS? I'm not going to say most likely, but check it out for yourself. Rule out the life-threatening stuff, rule in TMS, and you'll come to a really good conclusion just by doing that. You don't necessarily need Dr. Schubner to tell you that your low back pain is TMS. Do the assessments and you should be able to figure it out. So with that, hopefully you found this useful. If you're on the fence, do the assessments. ppdassociation.org/symptoms. 30 questions. painforyou.com. Enter your email and download it. No, by the way, there's also my, I think it's 10 or 11 mistakes that people make that keep them stuck in pain. That's a free bonus download there with the assessment. And then go to yourpaintest.com and you'll get a really good consensus among 3 different types of self-assessments that you'll know that you do have TMS. So don't worry about finding out you've got TMS. That's actually great news. It means you're not broken. I don't believe you are. I believe the vast majority of chronic pains and symptoms are caused by stress. And with that in mind, have yourself a great day, and we shall talk to you soon. See you guys.